whilst it's still rolling, we're going to go into the other one, which is kind of linked, which you had.
Yeah,
which
so
was,
it was when your partner, wife, husband wants another child and you don't.
Right.
So, I mean, for me, I don't know about you, Tony, but I haven't actually come across this phenomenon because my wife and I, before we were even married, we said 2.
Oh, okay.
We said 2. Right. That's it, we're done. So there was never any thought of more than 2.
Right.
And we were both happy with 2. And it was reinforced through the time of having our 2 by other parents we know and talking to people. But situation where, you know, one of you is happy with your situation. You feel like you're done with the kids, with the nappies, with the late nights, early mornings, and everything else that goes with that, and the stress and having to keep a job and career and juggle that while you have a newborn. What happens when your significant other wants another child and you don't? How do you navigate that? How would you feel about that?
Well, boy, I think the decision to have a child is the woman's. So I think...
Is it the woman's?
She has control.
Until she's pregnant, is it her decision?
I think if a woman really wants to have another child, you're having another child.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think we're men in it. If it's she's like, if she puts it on us, like, we're gonna whatever.
It's
like, I'm pregnant. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? I'm keeping it.
True that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, so even though we, I guess in scenarios might think, I think it comes down to the woman. If the woman wants another child, more than likely.
Okay, so let's make this a bit more difficult then.
Got it,
right? Say you have a woman that you trust, or you have a partner. Okay, because it's the woman that was saying. So say your girlfriend, wife, what have you, you trust them and you trust that she's not going to, not be on birth control or whatever, and have a child when she knows you don't want one.
Right.
If you're in a situation where you trust your lady enough that she's going to have the conversation with you,
right,
and she's going to seek your agreement, and she's not going to try and make it happen without your agreement,
right,
and it's a 50-50 thing,
right,
but she comes to you and says, "Oh, I really want another child,"
I think it's a conversation. You'll have to weigh it up. Like, so for example, for us, when we did speak about having another child, it was for example the feasibility of it, especially I guess as a man. I'm thinking, okay, the car needs to get upgraded, the house needs to get upgraded in terms of size, type of thing. The time that you're able to dedicate, because for all of my kids, the first 2 my missus was at home. The third one she was partly at home, and then I took over being at home. So we know we've always wanted to, at least till about the age 5, we wanted to one of us to be at home. So it's thinking about that, and like you're saying, understanding that, well, if you decide to have a child, that means that whatever career path you're on now, you're gonna have to hold that for about 3 to 5 years. So for me, it would be having those realistic conversations, because sometimes you can get caught in it. And this might sound a bit stereotypical, it might be more from the woman's point of view. You see other women with a baby, and then you start, but having a baby is more than they're so cute stage. It's the late nights, it's the giving up your life, it's the, and then if it's an additional one, let's say you've already got, for example, 2 or 3, and then you're adding another one onto that, you're then asking yourself, okay, how much attention can we really give to, or if the attention now shifts to the newborn baby, but then you've still got like a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, or whatever. How much are you? Do you know what I mean? And then I think sometimes that's why it turns into the 11, 12-year-old is now the carer of the child. I mean, it is what it is. It happens happening in all of our families or whatever to some extent. So I think that would be because I think having a baby, bar the emotional element of it or the spiritual element of it, I think you have to think about it practically, depending on what kind of parent you want to be.
If you don't, it's not fair to the kids.
It's not fair to the kids. So it's like, for me, it's like, at one point we were living in a 1-bedroom flat and we had 2 kids. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of having more kids, I'm thinking practically. It's like, where are we gonna? Do you know what I mean? But sometimes I might be overthinking it because again, my background is back home, and I know people that would, a family would live in a room the size of this place. So there's that as well. So I guess it comes back to what are your own personal goals, what are you trying to achieve, and what do you want for your family? Do you know what I mean? Because I'd like us to, you know, even things like going on holidays now, like I'm a family of 5. You know, we want to be going back to Africa, whether it's the east, my missus' side, or the west.
So plane tickets add up, man.
Bro, we ain't even gone nowhere yet. It's like, yeah, this is like a few grand, like the least. So it's all of those practical things for me personally I'm starting to think about, and also just wanting to be able to enjoy my children and give them as much of me as I can give them. So it's like, okay, if we have a certain amount now, we've been blessed with however many we've been blessed with, everything's cool, It might be cool, it might be nice to have another kid because blah blah, have another kid, but then when we really think about it, what can I, you know,
it's true.
so
I mean,
you got more practical decisions like that,
you
or
got to
conversations.
think 360 around it also, because like I think about the situation right now. So I have a 9-year-old. In 2 years, she's going to be going into secondary school. So like, if that situation was to arise, my wife wanted another child. All the plans and things that I'm thinking about around helping my daughter transition. Into secondary school. At that time, if you've got another newborn or a very young child, it's just impossible to give it the kind of focus that you would want to, you know? So, and it's not even just like the upfront transition to secondary school, it's the other things that go along with it, dealing with older kids.
Becoming a teenager,
the increased level of schoolwork and stuff like that comes. You know, you've got to think, right, well, when that time comes, I'm going to need to be there and be available. But if you've got a very young child, as I say, it's impossible, you know. So, you know, these are all the things you've got to think about, and it is difficult. It's difficult to foreshadow like that. You know?
And it like I said, because it's interesting, because as you're speaking, and I'm thinking about what I just said and what you're saying, like for me, it's definitely a practical thing. I'd be thinking practically, how is this going to work? Feasibly, how is this going to work? But then when I really think about it, bro, like I gave the example of people back home, it's like there's people, like if I think financially, there's people in worse financial positions than I might be that are cracking on with it. Do you know what I mean? I was going to bring the African experience in, because in Africa, you know, parents generally tend to have more children, but the difference between there and, let's say, a UK or Western world, over there is very much extended family. So you'll always have an auntie about, the grandma about, so you'll physically be having a child, but you're all raising that child.
And
you
it's
know
the
what I mean? So it makes it, so it makes it slightly different to where it might be very much nuclear family. It's just you, your missus and your kids, and you got to crack on and trying to hold down a job and trying to do this and trying to do that kind of thing.
I mean, society, I would imagine, I've never been to Sierra Leone, but society is built for that kind of family in Sierra Leone. You know, you probably have people that live on big farms or what have you, or have access to big plots of land or this and that, whereas here, you're not going to get that. You know, you practically, as you say, it's just not going to work the same way, you know. So
it's that sense of community as well, which I guess is a whole nother topic.
And you don't get that here.
Because even the poorest people that might not have the land or whatever, but there's a sister around, there's a cousin around, or even, you know, like we call each other, you know, your cousin is your sister, you know what I mean? Like, so there is that unit, there is that family whereby you can all help to raise these children. And you're not
people
so
are used. That's ingrained in people.
That's
families,
the culture and
used
community.
to that, you know.
But sometimes I think over here in the Western world, it is, you know, you have 7 kids, you're raising them 7 kids by yourself. Or it's either you and the state kind of thing. You know, so there's things like that to think about. But yeah, I mean,
definitely. So I think this was a good topic. Let us know out there, what do you think? Give us a like, give us a subscribe. What do you think in terms of kids? If it can you handle any more? If your partner said they wanted another child, how would you navigate it? Do you see any holes in what we've said? Pick us up on it. You know what I mean? I'd like to know. I'm always open to learning more. So give us a shout in the comments. Let us know what you think.
Nice one. See you on the next one.